Susanville, California. It's another day on the high security level 4 prison yard, ER to be exact. A level 4 180 maximum security level that inmates can still move around freely. Being a security housing unit or SHU for short takeout yard, meaning convicts from Pelican Bay, Corcoran, and Tehachapi SHUs are sent to these 180 yards. 180 means 180-degree view from the gunner view in the day room. An even number of cells on each tier, top and bottom. Only one tier of cells is let out on the yard. Today is a beautiful sunny day in July. The officer calls out the yard and those going out to unlock line up on their door. The cell doors open and the convicts start walking down these stairs to the day room, passing the tables spread out and the phones on the wall. Tension is always high on these yards, so the canines are always on high alert. The gunner gripping his Mini 14 on the catwalk and the floor officer in the control center opening cells with the press of a button. While the other floor officers have their eyes constantly scanning, same with the convicts, because with high tensions and stress, there's always a chance they could pop. Convicts line up according to race. Whites still with whites, blacks with blacks, and Mexicans with Mexicans, others with others. There's a new phenomenon in California prisons today with the end of hostility. The Sereno and Norteños coexist on yards, in some places even cell together. While the Asian, Samoans, who aren't affiliated, along with the Indians, Arabs, and all other groups that come together for protection on these 4 yards and below, call themselves the others. As they line up, they start going through the sally port, one by one, stripped out, through a metal detector, and treated like animals. The homies all get out to the yard. They go to their designated places they have. Tables, showers, bathrooms, etc., etc. They can only use those specifically designated spots, tables, showers, sinks, toilets, etc., because that race has earned those, and that's how they delegated them out. One wrong use of a sink can cause a full-blown race riot. Today, Donald Joker Paquin is getting up for the last time, making that walk for the last time, seeing the yard and the trends for the last time. Everyone else knows but him. It's kind of sick joke. Donald had a troubled history with drugs. He liked to get high, but with addiction choices that have real consequences, and Don was playing with his life, running up drug debts on a daily basis. He just landed at High Desert from another prison. California prisons are run by the Big Four, the Aryan Brotherhood, Black Guerrilla family, Nuestra Familia, and the Mexican Mafia. Paquin was white, so he fell under the brand, aka the Aryan Brotherhood. Being a white convict, or a Wood, short for Peckerwood, he has the rules lined up to him, and he knows better than to run up drug debts. As he was a seasoned convict, he knows what's expected out of a white man in the California prison system. Brotherhood have a set of even stricter rules. Not only did Paquin run up drug debt, but broke one of the most sacred Aryan Brotherhood bylaws, rules, etc. that they have ever come up with. Never falsely claim a flag that you're not a part of, or a group, or a car. And he was not Brand, but he was claiming to be a member. Big no-no. Big no-no. This was Don's fatal mistake, along with running up a drug debt, which could be fatal in and of itself. The prison he was at, there was a brand member named Travis Berhop, which in the later day and time, I will, when they profile him as well. Getting a lot of weight in shoeboxes for heroin and crystal, aka meth. Han kept getting fronts on the string that his word was gold and that he would pay up via green card when he got the money. Well, the deadline had came and passed, and Joker didn't have money. Travis sent word to his brothers about this debt, and that Joker was possibly claiming to be a brand member to either get more drugs or raise his respect level on the yard so he could get privileges that normal white inmates don't get that come along with being an Aryan Brotherhood member. Pat Brady, a high-ranking Aryan Brotherhood member, sent word back to Travis Burhop to hit Donald, aka Joker. They had the plan in place to hit Joker, but the CDC transferred Joker to High Desert just before they were able to pull it off. It just so happened, though, that was the worst thing that could have possibly happened to Donald, aka Joker, the Queen. Because Pat Brady was waiting. Joker on DR in the desert. In a new day and age where the validation and indeterminate shoe sentences have been abolished in California, no longer can you have draconian sentences for literally having a drawing, a letter, and hearsay to be thrown in a box, Pelican Bay or Corcoran or Tehachapi for as long as you're alive if you have a life sentence. Some guys are back there 30 plus years. And before that, they were stuck in the adjustment center in San Quentin or various holes around the state. Soledad, Chino, etc., etc. All the big homies were on the yard now. The BGF, the MA, BNF, and of course, Pat Brady and the Aryan Brotherhood. And they were bringing a lot of the old school back with them. This was no longer Slash the homie. That was no longer in good standing with us to get him off the yard. If you did not kill this target, you failed in your mission to remove this guy. Pat Brady learned of Joker landing on D Yard. He started to formulate a plot with 3 other wolves. One of them was another member, Jason Jake Corbett, another high-ranking Aryan Brotherhood member. He was going to make an example out of Joker about claiming to be an Aryan Brotherhood member when you're not. As everyone out on the yard, they're just doing their thing, busting down, doing a workout, walking a track, getting a suntan, sitting at the table, having a spread, listening to music, just doing the homeboy thing. Eventually, Pat and Joker started talking with Jake Corbett. None the wiser, Joker didn't expect anything to happen. But everyone else on the yard, going back to that sick joke I mentioned at the beginning of this profile, everyone else knew what was going to go down. And Joker didn't. As Pat Brady and Donald, Joker, the Queen, were chopping it up, Jason Jake Corbett comes up behind them. And the wiser, Joker didn't expect anything to happen. But everyone else on the yard, going back to that sick joke I mentioned at the beginning of this profile, everyone else knew what was about to go down. As Pat and Joker were talking, another inmate, Jake Corbett from the brand, comes up behind them. As Pat distracts Joker with the old look over there routine, as soon as Joker looks, Jake is on him, mercilessly. He pulls out his knife and starts stabbing Joker in the back. As Donald is looking around thinking he's getting punched, going, what's going on? In a state of shock, he freezes up for a second while he's getting stabbed and realizes what really is going on. He does have a weapon, and he's actually getting stabbed, not just hit. And by this time, Brady had pulled another homemade shank from his waistband and joined it on the festivity. Man, in front of God and everyone on that yard, they were butchering Joker. They had a bomber come in, 3-on-1, 2 of them with knives, just taking this guy's wind, or trying to. And in the end, they succeed. Which was a message to pay your drug debt and never claim to be something you're not. As he's being stuck in the back with the knife so big it goes through his back and into his lungs, and you can see it hit the front of his shirt. That was just one of the knives. The other knife was so deep it would go in and hit vital organs, 4 or 5 inches inside his chest. They were trying to go through his chest, but hit his heart and lungs. They were going through his back, and like I said, the knife would come, and you would see it poking out the shirt, making little red marks as it was pulled back in. It's dead silent. Where are the cops? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. As these guys were doing kill shots to the face, to the neck, to the groin area, to under the armpit, to the lungs, and the stomach, in the back, vital organs, vital shots. They were sticking him, mercilessly taking his life. And that was the goal, and that's exactly what they did. Joker was fighting back while Jake and Brady finally get him to the ground. And when that happens, it's all she wrote. Jake and Brady are sticking him in the neck and in the mouth and in the face, in the ears, everywhere, man. Every vital spot. This guy had lost so much blood and could hardly breathe. Joker, it was over. Everyone knew. This was a message the brand sent to everyone. God and everyone under the sun. They're still hitting them, and the COs finally realize what's going on, and they hit the deuces, aka they lost. They're giving verbal warnings, but half-assed. Hey, stop. Pat. Hey, stop. Jake. Stop. Stop. They're just basically running through the motions as they're walking up to the scene of the crime. But they don't stop. They keep sticking them, and they finally get tired and realize that this dude ain't moving no more. This dude ain't breathing no more. This dude ain't fighting back. This dude ain't doing nothing. So when they're done, they get up, adjust their sleeves, fix their collar, toss the weapon to the side, walks over to the CO, says, "We're done." As you can tell, who really holds the power in these places? Why didn't the COs do anything more? Why didn't the gun towers shoot down? Were they working with the brand? After all, this is high desert. This is called the White House. And this is something that does occur on these level 4 yards when a CO sympathizes. As they stand up over Joker's body and the inmate manufactured weapons to the wayside, officers now are yelling, "Pat, Jake, get down, get down, get on the ground." Now all of a sudden they got urgency once they realize how bad the stabbing is and that this guy's not breathing. The medical staff does everything they can to revive. Call in for an ambulance, but they know it's not going to be fast enough. So they call into life flight. The helicopter takes off from an unknown location. Even with the helicopter coming in to make a landing, just all this dust and noise kicking up. You just hear a constant in the background. And people are running out and getting them on a gurney and strapping them into the stretcher, rolling them back up to the helicopter, running. But guess what? It's way too late. Joker's dead, and everyone knows it. While they're doing this, they finally got Pat, Jake. This is when things start going through Pat's mind. Because officers recovered the weapon. After all, they weren't trying to get away with it. But there's certain things Pat did that he wishes he had done different. They found Brady's knife, a flat piece of metal with a tip fashioned to it and sharpened. It had SF lightning bolts on it. This was a mistake, and Pat Brady knew it, even acknowledging it to one of his brothers, on Papa and Maza. In the history of the Aryan Brotherhood, they've etched stuff like this onto their knives, so they made it clear that the brand did this. It also made it easier to tie Pat Brady and the Aryan Brotherhood into the RICO indictment, and then this was done for the furtherment, prosperity, a gang or criminal enterprise. In this case, it was done for the Aryan Brotherhood. The RICO indictment that they're now facing, and this murder was now part of it, showing premeditation and the motive to murder Donald, Joker, the Queen as well. Pat Brady even said part of his plea agreement detailed Joker to enforce the codes of conduct of the Aryan Brotherhood and sent a message about claiming false affiliation is punishable by death.